The Chinese military philosopher Sun Tzu said, "Know your enemy, know yourself." In this war, America has done neither. We are facing the most dangerous enemy of our time, Islamist violent extremists, driven by a doomsday prophecy of unspeakable acts. Worse, our strategy since 9/11/2001 has failed and put us more at risk. Our politicians have implemented strategies that have frazzled our warrior force to its core and left most Americans unaware. One military spouse whose husband was endlessly deployed sadly stated,
"It's like 2% of us went to war, and the other 98% of Americans went shopping."
There is a way to win, but the other 98% must change how we fight. After 9/11, America responded by supporting corrupt foreign governments with heavy U.S. troop deployments and large economic aid packages, while ignoring rural villages. These rural villages provided safe haven to violent extremists who controlled them by pressing their foot on the necks of locals through harsh intimidation. More Muslims died at the hands of these so-called Islamic holy warriors than people of any other faith. Tamazan was a tiny Afghan village high in the mountains, living under this oppressive rule of extremists. These villains took whatever they wanted from locals. Anyone opposing them was severely beaten or killed.
Once, radicals came to our village and beat a young teenage boy senseless for not following their instructions as his horrified family looked on. He was deaf and mute.
The final straw occurred after an unarmed truck driver was hijacked. Locals rose up, but realizing they were outgunned by the bad guys, the villagers cried for help. A small group of bearded Army Green Berets working nearby sprang into action, fighting their way into the village and standing shoulder to shoulder with locals. They pushed the enemy back. Like a modern-day version of Lawrence of Arabia, this small team of warriors moved into the village, where they trained locals to fight back, to improve their farming skills, and resolve their own disputes over resources. As this once proud village rediscovered its own freedom, word spread like wildfire from valley to valley. Our warriors changed their strategy to beat extremists at their own game, one village at a time from the bottom up. Powerful results followed. Within 1 year, the resistance grew from 6 villages to 113, and from 75 peasant farmers defending their villages to 15,000. In 2012, Osama bin Laden and Mullah Omar warned their followers that this program was the greatest threat to their insurgency. In 2013, despite promising results, our leaders withdrew advisors from the villages to hunker down in cities and await withdrawal. America resumed its failed bombing campaign and ignored the growing resentment created by harsh extremist treatment of locals in communities around the world. Smelling blood in the water from our refusal to learn, the dark shadow of ISIS and other groups expands daily, attracting thousands of young followers around the world to its black banner through its dark lies of an apocalyptic utopia. For the sake of our children and their future, this must stop. The path is clear, but not easy. We can defeat these animals by demanding our leaders fight this war differently and smarter. It goes against the way we often fight wars. How about you? Since we've now passed this 15-year war onto our children, when these same politicians put them on airplanes next to my son to charge against the black banner of ISIS and their baited trap of a manufactured holy war, will you go shopping again? The enemy is already amongst us. It's time to change the game.